Welcome to Java Space. So in this video we are going to talk about entity projection. So entities are the most commonly used projections. The entity manager manages all the entities written by Spring Data repositories for you. And the implication is that any changes made to a managed entity, the changes will be persisted into a database. And obviously this has some performance overhead. Entity projections are the best when you want to write, you want to execute queries that perform write operations. And this type of projections are the easiest to implement and most commonly used. And as you can see here on the right, this is a typical example of an entity projection. So the queries specified here are, they return employee, and employee is a root managed entity. So it is an entity because it actually maps to a database table. That's why we are saying this is an entity projection, because we want fields in an entity and we are returning them. So as I said in the previous video, there are cases where we do not want all the attributes of the managed entity or root entity. We may want certain selected attributes based on our business requirements. So this is where other types of projections comes in. As mentioned, entity projections are only essential when you require write operations. They are bad for performance. So anytime you are dealing with, just retrieving of data, it's advised that you obviously choose other types of projections. So I'm just going to show you, I have a project here I'm going to use for demonstration. We have, I'm going to show you the entity class and the address. So let me just open this project. I have employee, as you can see, it's an entity. And I have address, it's also an entity, and there's a relationship between employee and address. There's a one-to-many, so that means an employee can have many addresses, and there is a bidirectional relationship here. All right, so we are going to look at the first entity type, which is, the first projection, which is entity projection. So as we can see here, we are just returning employee. I'm just going to take this out because it does not belong here. So what I want to do is I want to return employees that match this name. All right, so I'm going to go to my control. I didn't create a service because obviously this is not a real project in production. So I have an endpoint here, the get, where I will get all employees that match this name. All right, so what I'm gonna do, because we are dealing with entity projections here, I'm gonna take this back to employee, and obviously this one I'm gonna say find by, okay, this should be find by. All right, so I'm gonna run this code. Okay, the code is running, so I'm gonna hit this. That will give me all the employees. So you can see I have all the employees from the DB, and the search one, I search all the employees with name John. So if we go into our database, we can see we have John, You know, we have John, we have quite a number of them. So if I run this code, I'm not getting anything. All right, let's see why. Okay, I'm gonna go to the code shortly, quickly. Name search. Okay, find by name. Okay, name equals to John. Okay, let me see. First name. Okay, let me check. Is it first name? Oh, this one is last name. That is the issue. Okay, let me just add first name quickly. First name. First name. That's why the query was not working. So I'm gonna go back to the application where, okay, this is where doing the search. Okay, so right now we are expecting some results. As you can see, I'm returning John, and like I said before, it's returning an entity as is. It's returning an entity as is, and this is an entity projection. You can also use it with JPQL. This is JPQL. So I can call this guy here in my and this code should still work. Right, let's see what did we use in that. Okay, it's first name. All right, let's run the code. We see we still get the same result. So what we basically did here is we used entity projection with JPQL, whereas here it was just entity projection with derived queries, which are queries that are generated based on method names. So in terms of entity projection, that's how far we can go. You can explore like as much as you can. In the previous videos I explained, I give you some links that you can follow in order to to write these method names that will result in some query in a database.